So my stop remains where it is. I'm leaving it right where it is, right? In anticipation. Wow. 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 You see why I leave my stop where it is? Wow. All right, guys. So we're going to be doing a back test on AUDCAD here. And I'm going to show you, what would theoretically be going through my mind, considering that I'm not showing any EMAs, at least not yet. I do have the benefit of hindsight. This is the replay function, as you can see here, but the system holds the same, right? I do not know what is going to happen moving forward. I am using the replay function off of the daily time frame. That's where as the last place I had it, right? And right, so let's go. So on the 15-minute time frame, what I would typically do first and foremost is zoom out all the way to try to get a general idea of the directional bias as the first and most important thing I would do, right? The next thing I would do is, if I feel like it's not giving me enough information on the 15, I might go up to higher time frames, maybe the 1 hour. So the 1 hour is telling me that it's bullish. So now this is a contradicting concept. 4 hour, the 4 hour is also telling me, okay, so the 4 hour is telling me that it's bullish here, but it's bearish overall. Let me go to the, so yeah, now you have more synonymousness or synonymity with the overall direction. And on the daily, you can tell that it's still a bear market, right? Now, it's a bear market that has gone into the bear direction. That's a good sign, right? So overall, it's bearish. And then if we go back to the 15, you can tell that here it's also bearish. Now, what is very, very important about this here is I am very, very interested in AUDCAD continuing to sell. Now, with that, what I think could possibly happen is it can do one of a few things. It can potentially come up to this area, right? So it could potentially come up to this area to get some liquidity. This is now also a liquidity zone here. This is a liquidity area, while an area where there's a lot of traders entering. And how do we know that these are areas that they're liquidity? Nobody knows. I don't know, but I'm anticipating it to get back to these areas because there's a lot of traders entering here. And again, I don't know that, but it makes sense that there's a lot of traders entering here because the market's staying here. This is gathering orders, right? So there one or two things could happen. It could either go straight back to here and then drop, or it can break here, come back to this area and then drop, right? So let's play it and see what happens. All right, so far so good. Okay, interesting, right? So interesting that it did that. So it came back to this area and then it's now moving back down. So that's a good sign, right? I am also anticipating it now that it has grabbed some liquidity from this area. I am anticipating for it to drop down, maybe to get into this area, maybe even break. And the reason why I would consider a break, and this is important, the reason why I would consider a break is because it has liquidity from this area here, and it is overall bearish, right? So let's see. All right, so it didn't do nothing yet. Now let me pause here. The question that I know some people might be asking is, could I have sold here? Yeah, you could have. If you got ECR using the lower time frame here, you could have probably sold it, and nothing is wrong with that. This is not necessarily, I mean, maybe you know what? Let me put the moving averages on. Let me put them on, and let me put it right here just to show you. This is a back test, by the way. So I'm not just doing this to show a strategy or anything like that. I'm just showing what is possible, right? So we'll use this candle. Let's put the EMAs on. All right, that looks good. And let's come down to see the lower time frame. So let's use maybe the 1 minute, hoping, oh, damn it, I didn't think that I would be able to get it. All right, so let me go back to the 15 and, oh my God, it's just basically done everything. Okay, so I'm guessing that's right somewhere here. All right, good. All right, so let's bring price right back to this area. Yes, I think it's this. All right, there we go. All right? I think I could be wrong. Right, there we go. So we can't use the 1 minute because it's too far back, right? But maybe let's try the 5 minute, right? Hopefully the 5 minute will give us what we want, right? So let's, when it gets to the zone, and there we go, right? So let me come back a little bit. Come back just a little bit. All right. And let's use the 5 minute to see if we could possibly find an entry. And the entry would look like a cross of your moving averages after it hits this zone. And let's play it candle by candle and see. There you go. Now, all you would need is price to come back to this liquidity area here to grab some liquidity. If it does so, then you can find potentially your entry. So you do want to see price maybe come back into this area. If it does so, then that's a good sign. That is beautiful. That's your entry right there, right? And you would sell that, and you could, well, that's a 10 pip stop loss. That's actually quite tight. You could potentially sell it to this previous low here, and let's see if it. So that's a what? That's a 60 pip take profit. So let's see if it plays out. Actually, very, very beautiful. So it gives us what, about 30 pips almost immediately. Not before coming back. I know it comes back. Does it come back all the way though? So it comes back. It doesn't take. Oh yeah, it does. It does take you out, and that's fine, right? But not before it gives you at least what, 40. That's not bad, right? So we'll leave that there. This is just a back test. This is what I would like for people to do when they are back testing, right? I'm not trying to defeat, if I won or lost or anything. I'm just trying to understand what I'm looking at, right? So we still know that this area is a liquidity area that is holding. How do we know that? Because if it weren't a liquidity area that was holding, price would not try to get back to this area. So it makes sense, in my opinion, to maybe possibly have price come back here again and maybe drop. So let's see. All right, so I was wrong about that. Okay, cool. All right, so it means that this last area here where we had the entry originally, where we had the entry originally was the last liquidity pool, and clearly the market used that, so that's fine, right? Now we have to use this area. So this area, what we are anticipating, because it has grabbed liquidity from this area, and we know that it has grabbed its fill of liquidity from this area. I think that it's going to break this area completely. Let's see. There you go. All right. There you go. All right, good. And now it makes sense, in my opinion, because it has tapped this area a few times. It makes sense that it could potentially come back. You could say that this is it coming back for liquidity, but I would like to see it a clean break and push down first. All right, so let's see. That's actually fine. All here, you're not interested. You're not interested in anything. And the reason being, it hasn't really clearly broken down. That's a clean breakdown, right? So now I'm looking at this here. I still would like to see price come back into this area, maybe with something that looks like this and then this. For the reason being, we know that it has its fill of liquidity. I would, in a case like this, what I would do is I would set an alert, maybe something like that. I would like to see price come hit that area and then drop. And let's see, let's play it. Okay, so it would not have triggered the alert here, so I would leave it. Let's see. Oh, wow. Okay, cool. So in a case like this, maybe you could use the 5 minute and possibly try to find your entry. All right, so let's put the EMAs back on. And in a case like this, maybe we would wait for the cross. So let's play it now. Okay, so you see why we wait, right? Interestingly enough, right? And that's why we wait, right? So that is fine. We'll take that. We'll take the EMAs back off. Right. Boom, boom. Right. And let's go again. And that's why we wait. That's like most important why we wait, right? Now, Before I play it again, I want to ask the question of the market. Why did it spike into this area? Interestingly enough, it's coming back here again. All right. Interestingly enough. Why? Oh, no, sorry. That zone is drawn wrong. Right? Why? Why is it trying to come back here again? What is the significance of this area? Right? So I'll monitor. All right. It broke back down. All right. So this is now a case of it's definitely consolidating. So what I would do is, you see how it already destroyed what I thought it would happen here? I would remove this and I would probably just walk away from this altogether. I would remove the alert and walk away from this altogether. What I would wait to see what happens is if it goes back into bear momentum or clear bear momentum for me to find that entry. So if I go back on something like the daily, you could see that the bear momentum has been destroyed by virtue of it's now back bullish, right? So I'm not interested. I would just play this, play this, play this, let it do what it has to do until it comes back into a clear bear move. So all here, I am not interested. I could care less about what happens. Blah, 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 blah. All right. Now, so let's pause it here. That's what I'd like to see. So if you go back on the daily, you can tell that it has now started to come back clear bearish, right? That's good. So the next thing that I am interested in is where could I find my potential entry, right? Where could I find my potential entry? So this area is still an area, in my opinion, that has high probability of liquidity, right? But can I sell here? No, I can't. I need to wait for price to clean break it and then go back for the liquidity. Let's see. Because it's definitely bearish. So let's see. Clean break. You could say that's going for liquidity, but I would wait. I would definitely wait here again. Nice. I would say that's a clean break. Good. Good. So let me pause it. That's a nice clean break. It came back to this low here. So that's also good. Right. Guys, also remember, like I said, this is just, this is just me playing around, messing around, trying to get a better understanding for what I see. If as a trader you don't do this, if you have the replay function, if as a trader you don't do this, then I don't know what you're doing, right? There's no way that you can be perfect. There's no way you can be completely proficient at what you do. The more you do this, the better you're going to get an understanding of the market itself. So I'm still looking at, so let me put this back. I'm still looking at, so you could say that it went for some liquidity here. I'm still looking at this area here, maybe for price to come, maybe like here and then here. Let's see. Let's play it and see. All right, so a nice clean break. Oh, wow. Oh, wow, 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 wow. All right. So now let's pause it again. Let's go back on the daily. And on the daily, it's definitely still bearish. So far we're still good. We're still clear in terms of what we would like to see. Let's see. Oh, wow. Wow, 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 wow. Wow. So yeah, so this is exactly what I would like. You want a nice clean bear move, right? With it showing that it's going down. And then once it shows that it is going down, you know that obviously it's going to run out of liquidity at some point, right? So you want to see when it goes for that liquidity. The best time to get in to the market is after it has already grabbed the liquidity. And we know from before that this has been an area that has been highlighted for so long. So it makes sense, in my opinion, that it might try to get back there. So let me put the EMAs on now and see if I can find maybe an entry. And I'm using the 5 minute. Typically, I would use the 15, the 5, or the 1, dependent on the currency pair and dependent on the scenario. But okay, good. So if it crosses down here, I would then look to use, so let's wait for cross first, right? So let's go candle by candle. There you go, cross. I would like to see price maybe come back up to maybe, that's a bit high. So I would say in terms of liquidity, because that's what it wants, right? In order for it to keep going, it needs to gather liquidity. So I would say in order for price to come back, I would say maybe a zone like this. Let's see. So if it can get back into this area, let's go candle by candle. So it's a little sketchy. It's a little sketchy. So I would wait maybe one more candle. Let me see. Yeah. Right. I could probably try to sell this, but this is also a little sketchy in that there's some bull momentum coming in here and some bear rejection. So let me wait on one more candle again. Yeah, that would have been the candle. You know what? Let me still wait. That's my candle. This is my sell here. This is my sell here. All right. Guys, as well, there's no way that I could know exactly what is going to happen on all these candles. This is me just literally playing it out live. Where do I think it's going to go now? It could stop me out, but I'm just playing with it. Obviously these lows here look pretty good, so I am maybe anticipating maybe I am anticipating something like that, which would be a 1 to 5. Yeah, 1 to 5. Let's play it. Let's see. Hopefully it doesn't stop me out. And let's go. Right, so let's go candle by candle. All right, looking good so far. Give me a little bit of drawdown. And then wow, 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 wow. So let's play it. Let's play it all the way. So it gives me 1 to 5. Do I have enough liquidity to keep going? So now look at where it's. Oh, whoa, whoa, hold up. Right. Now look at this area where it's playing on now. So now we know that buyers are being probably induced here, properly well induced, meaning that they're thinking that it's going to go up, and it might go up just a little bit to gather some more liquidity to go back down. The move up that you could probably anticipate, right? And even though based on what that candle telling me, it's not really telling me up, but I do believe it could go up just a little bit. That small bull move might be just to get people to believe like it is going to buy. But let's play it and see. Okay, wow. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about, right? Where it goes up just a little bit to make people believe like it's gonna buy. This trade here thus far would be what? That would be a 1 to 9 with a 10 pip stop loss. I don't want to say effortless because it did take us quite a bit of analysis to get here. But again, it is so interesting on how it is playing out, right? Right. So here's what I'll do now. So in a case like this, my stop loss would be above this last area here, where the last bit of liquidity is, which would be something like that. Oh wait, sorry, my bad. Maybe something like that, right? Meaning worst case scenario, I am secure at about just a little over 20 pips. But what I would do now is I would go on maybe say the higher time frames to look to see if there's anything in the past that is either stopping it from going further down, or it is an area where we can look for it to go to. So I'm looking at this area now, right, as a potential target, right? And let me zoom out a little bit more. Right. And well, that area would be synonymous with this same area here. That's where the last bit of liquidity is. So in my opinion, if it can get past this area, it's not going to stop. So let's play it and see. There you go. Beautifully done. Get straight in, almost straight into my area, into my target area. All right. So my stop in this case would not move because it hasn't grabbed the last bit of liquidity yet. I would say the last bit of liquidity would be in this last region here. And you realize I'm saying liquidity, but I'm just using this as areas where it makes sense for price to go, in my opinion. If price can get to these areas, it'll grab those orders in that area, grab the sellers or the buyers in that area, and then continue. So let's see. All right. Hopefully price doesn't make a lie out of me. Okay, good. So they're not bad, not bad. Definitely not the cleanest of grabs, I would say here. All right. All right. So it did get to this area here. Is it grabbing or is it gonna break? So my stop remains where it is. I'm leaving it right where it is. Right? In anticipation. Wow. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. You see why I leave my stop where it is? Wow. Wow, 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 wow. So, like, it always, like, I mean, all right, fine. So it stops me out here, right? Fine, that's fine. But it's so interesting that if you can understand where price, it kind of magnets to, is so It's so interesting. So I was so busy with going wow that I really forgot to move, or it slipped my mind to move the stop down, because as I saw that it ran up into this area and failed to break it, right? I would have then decided to move my stop down, maybe just a little bit more, to maybe this area, because it would have run up into this area to grab the liquidity of here, right? Which would be something that looks like this. So I would have moved my stop maybe to something like here, right? And I would allow it to take me out there, which would give me the total on this trade would be 50 pips or so. Even though it went what, 130, almost 140 max. This is not, again, I'm not trying to make every last pip. If a trader tells you that they get trades like this every single time, they're lying to you. Obviously, that's not the goal, that's not the name of the game. But it's so interesting. Like, this is what a backtest should look like, right? It should make sense to you to try to, you should be trying to make sense out of what it is you're seeing, right? And in a case like this, because it's going back bullish again, you will definitely see that clear as day on the daily. It did have problems breaking this low, so for now, you would definitely leave this alone. And that's the end of my back test. I hope that this made some sense to you. But I must say the highlight of this back test here, this video, would be that spike back up here. So I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that it made some sense to you. And yeah, if you like this, like and subscribe. Subscribe obviously if you want to see more. I can do this more frequently if it is I see that it's getting this type of content is getting traction. Again, I hope that you watch this to the end. I hope that it made some sense to you. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace out, guys.